All right, Halloween review number 2. Switching gears to another long-running franchise. That's going to be The Walking Dead. This is going to be based on the comic version and not the show version. So Diamond Select Toys sent us their new release Walking Dead figures. Wave 1, which is going to be Rick and Michonne here. Wave 2, of course, we're going to have Negan. We're going to have some customizable walkers, but that won't be until next year. So for now, we got these great figures based on their black and white comic look. I think it's pretty cool to keep that sort of noir aesthetic to these figures. The box is very simple window boxing, kind of like how they do some of their select figures. A little different because they're calling these deluxe. They do come with a lot more accessories than we usually see. But they're still window box sort of esque in the front here, and then on the back you're just going to have two pictures of the characters here. I think I'm getting vibes of the Cobra Kai packaging, if you remember how that was set up, where we kind of had, you know, the window box with the figures on the line in the back. So this is the entire Wave 1 right here. And there's just details here on the back about the sculpting, the design work, and a little bit about the character themselves. So they go into Rick's backstory and Michonne's backstory. But we really want to focus on the characters and not too much in the packaging, because you're going to want to take these things out of the box. These aren't, in my opinion, great to just display in package, because you're missing all this great detail in these characters and all their functionality and articulation. So we're going to check that out right now as we come in a little closer to look at these figures. All right, we're going to start with Rick here. Apologize for the glare. It's just hard not to have glare in plastic when you're filming anything. You can see the character here with all those little items, and then a little bit closer shot of the back of that work that I was talking about here. I'm just going to pop this guy open and pull him out really quick. So here we go. You can see it a little bit better. You're going to have Rick, of course, right here in the middle. He has a little duffel bag. He has his standard sheriff's pistol here with an axe, alternative head with the hat on there, so I guess there's no, you know, flailing around with the hat trying to get it to stay on the head. He's got a nice assault rifle over here and a shotgun, and then a whole assortment of hands. So I'm gonna go, I don't know which way we should do this. Let's try, I have a feeling you're gonna do it this way, otherwise those hands are gonna roll out of this package really fast. So we have some pieces of tape holding all this together. One of those little plastic tabby things that I always struggle with in the videos. Two of those little plastic tabby things. Okay, once you get those, you can pop this guy out. So, first things first, let's take a look at this figure. Pretty cool look to him. We'll get you a nice 360 here. You can see all that detail. I love the black and white look on him. They still make him look a little grimy, even though it's harder to see here. But he's got that jacket on. You can see the detail of the sheriff on there, on his badge. And then you can see it on his arm patch as well. You see the holster on his waist. You got some tearing going on in those jeans there. And then you have this nice jacket that is overlaid on top of the body. So very nice design to the character, of course. You get even the boots down here. And let's look at this articulation really quick. So with him, we're going to have the hands, obviously. He's got an assortment of hands. He has an elbow here. So he bends at that elbow. I'm always careful on the elbows because I've had bad luck, not on select figures, but on other characters where they just kind of like snapped as I'm trying to do it. So I always like to ease them in there. We have this lateral move here by the arm. It doesn't seem to go a little bit out and in. We have the head, of course, rotation there. We come down to the waist. You can see the bend here in the torso. So he's going to have a little give right here, but this jacket is going to kind of restrict how far he's going to go. You have that hip movement a little bit here in the hips. Pretty good movement there. You have the knee. I can see the knee joint. Very nice. And then you have the ankle to help you position that foot. So decent amount of articulation in the figure here. And now we're going to test out all our accessories. So we have the, we have the head. We're still finding his feet here. We have the head, and the head comes with an alternative hat. So he has more of a sullen look. This is more of a angry look here. So we're just gonna, that head came off pretty easy as you saw. And then this other one pops on pretty easy as well. I like the hat look better. I mean, much easier than some of the selects we had to struggle with. I don't know if you saw our video where we did the Lord of the Rings. We really had a problem with one of the orcs in getting the helmet on, just because of the pointy tip, and it just, the pressure from the head just didn't want to go on that well. This was very easy. So he has an axe here. He comes standard with his weapon holding hand. So I could just kind of pop the axe in there, no problem. Very nice. Now he's going to have other hands in here. He's going to have fists, He has some, like, I don't know, these are like grabby hands right here. And then he's going to have what you want for the weapons, and that's going to be the trigger hands. So we're going to put those on as well. Looks like there's a little bit of wrapping on the hands too, like he got injured. I kind of like that. So we'll put those on in just a second to try those out, but he's got his revolver here. We're going to pop that in his holster. That looks really sharp in there. Look at that. Liking that. He has his assault rifle that has a strap, so you could wear it around as well. Maybe even wear it front oriented. I think that might be a little harder, but you got those options there. And then he has that shotgun. Fairly nice with the black and white, because they still have the contours here on the stock and on the grip. I mean, it's very nice to have that different colors on there. And then that duffel bag, which I think just brings it all home. So this, again, you could wear over him here like this. You could throw the guns in here. You're going to have to get that up and over his shoulder. You know, he kind of one-strap this. I know this is based on the comic, but in the show you saw these bags a lot, and they kind of one-strap it over his shoulder. And that's pretty much what you're going to have to do here to get that bag to stay up there. I mean, they would kind of like grab it too over their shoulder. But just for demonstration purposes, you could get that in there. You could bend the strap and get the assault rifle in there. You know, you could throw the axe in there. So it does fit the weapons, so that's really nice to have that. It might be easier maybe to put it like this and take the head off and then put it over, slinking across the body. We could try that. I don't know if that's going to work, just because the body's so big. Let's see here, because the jacket I think is going to be in the way. So I don't think you're going to be able to do that without like popping the bag strap. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. But you can figure out some way to make it work. I'm going to switch back to his regular head here. So let's try that hand switch just so we can see how he performs with the weapons. So again, I always like that twist and pull method as opposed to just pulling it out, because these pegs do break over time. So you're just going to kind of want to gently pull them. So here we go. We have the gun here, and it's trying to get the hand to maneuver a little bit. You're going to have to put a little pressure to get those fingers to move, but once you do, it looks like it sits in there quite nicely, and you could line up the finger on the trigger and get that revolver in there looking really nice. So you're going to have to maneuver it around, which is the case I find with every figure I've ever encountered, like whether it be Black Series or Marvel Legends or Select figures or NECA figures. Like, you always have to maneuver the fingers and the hands to get the accessories in there just right. But it looks pretty nice in there. I kind of like that, the way that weapon looks. And we're going to put that back in the holster. We'll try one more. I'm not going to go through all of them right now. You're going to get that shotgun in there. This one you might want to have more of a cross-body look. So we'll pop that in there. Again, you're just going to have to open it up a little bit while you're popping the accessory in. New hand, it's going to take a minute to sort of, here we go, acclimate. And then you could have that cross-body look. Maybe this is where you want that open hand here on the left. So let's try that. We'll switch that out. You know, a little bit of an open hand, so you can make it angry. Stay away, I got my shotgun, or you could comfortably hold that barrel of that shotgun. So a couple of options you could do there. And again, that black and white look to Rick is really nice. So did a good job with that. So that is your look at Rick. That pretty much covers all the accessories there. Of course, he has 3 guns. He has an axe. He has the carrying case, and he has his hat with the little tassels on the top there. That is part of a different head. So you can't remove the hat. That is, it seems to be pretty glued onto that top of his head, which has its ups and its downs. I mean, 1, you can't have the separate hat where you could just have it displayed, but 2, you don't have to worry about that thing falling off all the time. I mean, it's going to hold on there firm when you put this head on. So a nice little alternative option. So that's your look at Rick. Let's take a look at Michonne next. With our Grimes to the side, we could take a look at Michonne. Packaging exactly the same, except it says also available Rick instead of also available Michonne on the back. We'll take a look here, pulling her out of the box, and you can see those accessories a little bit better. So Michonne, of course, comes with her signature katana here. She comes with a assault rifle, assortment of hands, and a little satchel. So we'll take a look at this. Again, this is going to be held in by one of those little plastic things. I just see one. Nope, there's one on the hands. They always try to hide one from me. There's one on the hands over here, and there's one on the katana. So once you get those, there's going to be some tape somewhere, like right here. I'll try to mine those as we open this sucker. There we go. And then one more piece at the top. Okay, so we have our Michonne figure. And Michonne, we're bringing in for 360. Got a little bit more layering going on. You can see that scarf on there on the top. That's a separate piece. You have the jacket that sits on top as well. And then the independent skirt there. I like the way they did her shoes. They make it look like they're not molded onto her, that they're a separate piece. There's a little bit of like gap between the sock and the boot. Actually, it might be a separate piece. It's really well done. If not, you got some bandaging going on in her tattered clothing. I kind of like that. And then her signature hair is on there as well. No alternative heads for Michonne. We just got one head, one and done for her. But she's got an assortment of hands on there as well. Articulation is going to mimic what we saw with Rick. So it should be the same here with the arms, with the legs, with the head. The torso doesn't seem to have that bend in the body. It does a little bit. Yeah, here we go. It does have that bend in the body and the torso. So all the same articulation. I'm not going to repeat that. Let's check out the accessories and how they function here. So we have this messenger bag that you should be able to put on her. It might be easier to remove her head in this instance. Let's see if the head comes off. The head, it should, but it's not functioning very well. I'm going to say it's going to be tough to get that bag around her with her head just because of the way the hair is. You can wear it like a purse, but you want to get it as a satchel. I'm going to say either you should be able to take the head off here somehow, although it doesn't want to come off. I don't want to force it off if it's not meant to be swappable. At any rate, you should be able to get this on here, but I kind of think even if you did, it's not going to fall much lower than this, which is kind of strange. Like you'd want it to drape down by the side, right? Something more like this, but with the way the neck is set up, it doesn't seem like you could do that. So you could put it on here like that, but I'm not getting the head to come off, and I don't want to overextend it. Same with the, let's say, the holster here for the katana. This one again, this one seems a little easier to get over the head. So we're going to put this up and over here. A little stretching I think you have to do to get it over, but this one does sit better on her than the other one. So let's see. You got your katana. We're going to poke it in here. And that holds in there very nicely. It does slide out a little too easily though, so not the best design on that. But then we have the hands here. I'm going to go with this more extended grippy hand. I think it's going to be better for the katana than the hand. Now these ones don't have pegs. These ones, the peg is on the arm and you switch them out this way. So a little bit of a different design for Michonne than for Rick. Plus and minus with those, I've had those break too. So being extra careful. So we have the sword here. And I guess if you wanted to, you could almost cross the arms. Let's see if we get these arms across the body for a two-handed. We can. It's a little tight. I don't feel like that extra little grip is there to get that across for two-handed. I guess you can. You're going to have to very carefully do it, but you get a two-handed pose in there. So that is for the katana there. Now I don't see hands for her that specifically have like trigger fingers. I'm looking at the other ones. Oh, I take that back. She does have one here. It's not much of a trigger finger. We'll try this. The one I put in here for the katana has a little bit of a trigger finger, but it's not really, emphasized like the one on Rick. So I'll put this one in here. We'll see what it looks like when we get the gun in. The gun, putting it at a little bit of an angle to try to wrap it around here. It's a little harder with the way her hands are set up to get this in here, but yeah, I guess that is the intended trigger finger for the rifle, and you could kind of cross it across the body into this one, the more open one here if you wanted to, and try to poke it in there. You're gonna have to do a little bit of, there we go, maneuvering, but you could get that in there, and that's a nice pose for her as well. So yep, you get a couple options, and I think there's another one here that has just a little bit more of an open hand that you could pose in there. so you could just kind of sit the barrel on there, but this one works pretty nice with a little push to get it in there. So the holster is great. It's just a little loose, but you know, she shouldn't be turning upside down anyway, so I don't think that's going to be a major problem in the end. My only gripe seems to be with this messenger bag, which I can't seem to get on, and the hands are not as smooth as the Rick. They snap in there nicely. They just don't maneuver as smooth as the Rick one. And yeah, I would restrict the hand I use to the gun hand. Seems to work very well for the katana. It seems to be the only hand that is working for the katana. I wouldn't use the other hands. I mean, even if I got this over the head and stretched it, I don't think it's gonna drop very much. It's still gonna sit up pretty high because the way this figure's set up. So like the most I could see it going is like there underneath the arm. But I can't get that head off, and that's really frustrating. I could try to play around with it, but oh, you know what? If you lift the arm up, it actually gives you a lot more leverage to get the equipment over the head here than if you just kind of tilt it upward. But again, see what I mean here? Now I got it over the head. It's not dropping lower than the armpit area. So this is kind of weird how they design this. It should be able to go over the body and then drop down to the hip, but that's not the case here. So kind of a weird design flaw in that respect. Other than that, I mean, the figure looks great. I love how the, I forget what those are called, but the holster for the sword there, I love how that looks on her. It looks really good, and the sword fits in there very well, so no criticism on that, but it's just a little loose. If it was a little bit more of a pressure fit, I would say it's amazing. Out of the two, I'm liking the Rick more just out of the functionality. He just seems to have it together a little bit more in his figure design, because this holster, although it looks great, it's just a little too loose. Maybe if you push it in a little, oh no, still rolls out. So it's just a little too loose for me. I would like a little bit more of a pressure fit, but again, you're not turning the figure upside down. If I shake it, it's not flying out of there, and you're not really shaking the figure. So for all intents and purposes, it's gonna work. It's gonna hold in there for your display. And you can do two-handed poses. You can fit that gun in there. She's a little thinner in the legs, so it's a little harder to find that balance. But once you get it, I'm sure it'll be okay. Let's see if we get it. Yep, we got it. So yeah, that is your look at Michonne and the look at Wave 1. Well, we hope you enjoyed this look at The Walking Dead Wave 1 from Diamond Select Toys. We struggled a little bit with Michonne there. A couple of design elements I'm not really liking. The satchel is not sitting low enough for me. And obviously the katana was way too loose in the holster. But other than that, like, she functions very well. She could hold the sword two-hand. She could hold the gun. She has a great look to her. Rick, I thought was the winner out of the set, just with the alternative heads and a whole bunch more accessories you're getting with him. And he just seemed to operate better. The hand system was better. The head system was better. I couldn't get her head off. I don't know if it's meant to be taken off, but it would have made things getting this on a lot easier. But all in all, great first wave, great way to start this out. Two key characters in the line, or in the series, to be able to start out with. Can't wait to get some walkers. I mean, it's not Walking Dead without the walkers, right? So next up, I think we got Negan, and we have the walkers in Q1 or Q2 of 2025. So we'll be seeing those. And as I understand, the walkers are customizable, so you can do different things with them to create different versions of the walker. I think you could add or subtract limbs and have like bones sticking out and different facial features, etc. So once we see those, we'll play around with them as well. But this is a great way to start. These are hitting shelves now or very soon. And this is a great way to celebrate Halloween, hence one of our Halloween reviews, of getting these great little characters out and adding them to your Halloween display, or just adding them to your collection. So these are available from Diamond Select Toys. You can get them pretty much everywhere they sell their products. Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, direct from Diamond Select. We'll have some links up with some of our codes in there, so you get a little bit of a discount if you want. So yeah, get them now. Get them as soon as they're available. I know some places don't have them in stock yet, so pick them up. They are pretty cool, I have to say. They look just like you would want them to look, capturing that great comic look with that noir aesthetic to them, the black and white, and I think they really pulled it off. There's still a tremendous amount of detail, even though there's that absence of color here. So definitely check them out. I think they were worth your time. So that is all for today's review. We're going to have another Halloween review next Thursday. Every Thursday this month we will have Halloween themed reviews. On top of that, we're going to have other new product releases. I'll tease next Tuesday. It's going to be the newest NECA Last Ronin wave. 3 new figures came out in the past week. You might have only been tracking on 2. So we will be showing those off and discussing the future of that line as well. So tune in next time. Like, subscribe, and follow. See you guys next time.